The time is 7:02 East African time. Hope you had an amazing day if you're watching or listening from Kenya, and I hope you're having an amazing day if you're watching or listening from abroad. This is the Black Hot Fire News Update on a beautiful Friday night. It is night in Kenya on a beautiful Friday night. And this is the Black Hot Fire's news update with me, Dimore. I'll be telling you about everything that has been happening in Africa this week, and especially today. You know, it has been a very busy week for Africa with a lot of things happening. Since Monday, we've had a lot of positive and negative news coming from all the corners of Africa, from Senegal to Ghana to South Africa. We've seen it all. We've had people getting killed in Burkina Faso. We've had Burkina Faso, that is negative news. Positive news, we've had Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger forming a joint force to fight the jihadists. We've had a lot of news this week. It has been a busy week for Africa. And today it's the last episode of Black Hot Fire News Update for this week. So you're going to be looking at some of those events that have hit the headlines this week, including the talk that was held between the Russian and the Nigerian foreign minister in Russia, including how Egypt was able to get a bailout of $8 billion from the IMF, including how South Africa is in an economic crisis, including how we are going to be looking at everything that has been happening this week, and especially everything that has been happening today. So this is a Black Hot Fire News Update. I hope you stay with me, and I'm going to update you on everything that happened from all the corners of Africa. So once again, this is Dimore, and welcome. So we are going to start with Kenya, with sad news, especially if you are a lover of literature, if you're someone who reads a lot. So because today we lost a veteran publisher. His name is Dr. Henry Chakava, who's known for having published some of the best African books we have in Kenya. He was the founder of the East African Educational Publishers, and this was very instrumental in our childhood. Most of the books we used to read, most of the fictional books we used to read, as well as non-fictional, came from East African Educational Publishers. And I'm going to tell you some of the books he has written and recommend some which you can read. Some of them are deep African books. For example, being books by Ngugi wa Thiong'o. Ngugi wa Thiong'o is an African writer, one of the best African writers, maybe after Chinua Achebe, probably. And he has written so many African books, including some of them, including a book called Decolonizing the Mind. So Ngugi wa Thiong'o has a book called Decolonizing the Mind, where he talks about how Africa needs to really decolonize its mind from colonial bounds. And this he wrote, he was actually exiled because he was writing during the colonial period, and one of the person who was helping him write these books, including Oginga Odinga's book, which is called Not Yet Uhuru. Uhuru meaning freedom. So Oginga Odinga wrote a book called Not Yet Uhuru. It's not yet freedom. This was many years after Kenya had gained independence. So he sat down, looked, and discovered Africa was not yet fully independent, and he wrote a book. So this veteran publisher, his name is Dr. Henry Chakava, was instrumental in shaping Africa's literature, and most of the books you've read from East Africa passed through his hands. So his name is Dr. Henry Chakava. He passed on at the age of 77. He was the founder of the East African Education Publishers and leaves a rich legacy after an illustrious career in publishing in Africa. In a statement to announce his death, East African Educational Publishers Managing Director and CEO Kierie Kamamu stated that Dr. Chakava passed away at 5 a.m. on Friday while receiving treatment in a hospital. He described the late Chakava as the father of book publishing in Africa, and rightly so, because especially with the modern print, he was monumental in most of the prints you see in Africa. Dr. Chakava's legacy is decorated by many iconic figures. He published books including those of Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Grace Ogot. Grace Ogot has written a lot of good books. She is an amazing author, and today is International Women's Day. So I don't know if you can get these books online, but I'm sure you can get some of these African books online, and some of them are really amazing books. Although Grace Ogot used to write more of children's book, but she also wrote some political books that were a bit political. An example being, there's her book called The Other Woman that was published in 1976. Not really political, but African. It talks about it is set in that African setting because it was published in 1976. She has also written another book called The Promised Land. She has written another book called Land Without Thunder. So today being International Women's Day, you can go check out Grace Ogot's books. I'm sure you will find them online, and they are set in an African setting, and I would really recommend that. Dr. Chakava also published books by Francis Imbuga, who was a political writer, wrote books like Betrayal in the City. Betrayal in the City is another book I would recommend. A book that talks about how the political setting in Africa is, and how when the leaders, the politicians get into power, they eat even the people who put them into power. So he has a book called Betrayal in the City, another amazing book by Francis Imbuga. Dr. Chakava also published books by John Kiriamiti, who wrote fictional books, Major Mwangi, who also wrote fictional books, and Majoli Oludhe Makgoye, who is one of the richest people in, not in terms of money, but in terms of language. So Nigeria's Chinua Achebe and Cyprian Ekwensi, South Sudan's Tabalo Leong, among other continental authors like Okot Bitek, John Ruganda, and Peter Abrahams also published under this gentleman. So even Nigeria's Chinua Achebe, who according to me is the greatest African author, if you are a lover of literature, has written a lot of political books, quotable books, including A Man of the People, including, I can't really finish recommending books by Chinua Achebe. He's probably one of the best writers Africa has ever seen. Especially if you read A Man of the People, it is a political book that talks about the African political scene, and what it really takes to become a leader. And it is in that book that he quotes the quote that I really like talking about, where he says, every problem that Africa faces is a problem of politics. Every problem that you see is a political problem. So Chinua Achebe has also written Things Fall Apart, maybe his most famous work being Things Fall Apart. He has also written a political book called Arrow of God. He has written another political book called An Image of Africa, that really is an image of Africa, that I would also recommend. It was published in 1977. Things Fall Apart, I guess, was published in 1950s. And there's another book that he has written called Ant Hills of the Savannah, that was in 1987. So this is another, he probably the most decorated African writer. And if you are a lover of literature, I would recommend you read Chinua Achebe's, because his works speak for themselves, especially if you read Things Fall Apart. And I'm sure most of these books are online. If you haven't read an example being Things Fall Apart, you can find them, you can download a PDF and go through them. I'm telling you all this because apparently the gentleman who used to help them publish these books died today. His name was Dr. Chakava. He trailblazed the African literature scene, especially under the modern print. Most of these writers, and they were writing at a time where they were not allowed to write. It was illegal to write, especially books that talked on politics, and that was one of the reasons why Ngugi wa Thiong'o, the Kenyan author, had to exile to the United States at some point of his career, because he apparently wrote an African book called Devil on the Cross, and I don't know if it was Devil on the Cross or it was The River Between. One of those two books saw him exiled because it was really dangerous to write at that time. But Dr. Chakava, the founder of East African Educational Publishers, was the man to take those books to, and he always got them done. How he survived all these years without getting exiled, without getting killed, I don't know. But he was a decorated, iconic figure in literacy, especially in Africa. I told you he has published books by Chinua. The Kenyan authors I've mentioned. Other authors in Africa include Chinua Achebe, Cyprian Ikwesi. There's another South Sudanese writer called Taban Lo Leong, and Okot Bitek, who has written a lot of good poetry. Okot Bitek has written a lot of good poetry. His books are poetic. John Ruganda and David Rubadiri and Peter Abrahams. So Dr. Chakava was born in Vihiga County, and he completed he has done a lot of literature and philosophies. So that was sad news from Kenya. And as someone who really loves literature and books, I was saddened by the passing of Dr. John Chakava, who was an iconic figure in the literature scene. So condolences to the family, and we hope they are going to get consolation.
Dr. Henry Chakava is dead. Dr. Chakava, who passed on at the age of 77, was the founder and chairman of the East African Educational Publishers Limited and leaves a rich legacy after an illustrious career in publishing in Africa. In a statement to announce his death, East African Educational Publishers Managing Director and CEO Kiari Kamamo stated that Dr. Chakava passed away at 5 a.m. Friday morning while receiving treatment in hospital. Kamamo described the late Dr. Chakava as the father of book publishing in Africa, having played a key role in the acquisition of the British multinational Heinemann, that is East Africa, which was later renamed to East African Educational Publishers. Dr. Chakava's legacy is decorated by the many iconic literary figures he published, including Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Grace Ogot, Francis Imbuga, John Kiriamiti, Major Mwangi, Marjorie Oludhe Magoe, all from Kenya. Nigeria's Chinua Achebe and Cyprian Ekwensi, South Sudan's Taban Lo Lyon, among other continental literary luminaries like Okot Pibitek, John Ruganda, David Rubadiri, and Peter Abrahams. Dr. Henry Minyinzi Chakava was born in Vokoli, Vihiga County. He began his career after completing his studies in literature and philosophy in 1972. Among a great number of educational and cultural books he published, he is credited for giving an African perspective to the school books for primary and tertiary education, which had previously been greatly influenced by the Western culture.
So that was Dr. Henry Chakava. May he rest in peace. And let us now head to Nigeria with even sadder news, because 287 children have been abducted in Nigeria's northwest school attack. Gunmen attacked a school in Nigeria's northwest region Thursday morning and abducted at least 287 students, according to the head teacher. The incident marked the second mass abduction in the West African country in less than a week, because yesterday I reported another abduction and there was another abduction last week also. Local says the assailants surrounded the government-owned school in Kaduna State's Kuriga town just as the pupils were about to start the school day. Authorities had said earlier that more than 100 students were taken hostage in the attack. So the number is actually higher than 287. The 287 are the ones who have been confirmed. Abduction of students from school in northern Nigeria is very common and have become a source of concern since 2014, when they kidnapped 200 school girls in Borno State's Chibok village. I know you all remember this incident in 2014 where the Boko Haram kidnapped 200 school girls in Borno State. That was in Chibok village. So the abductions are still going on, and yesterday 287 children were abducted in Nigeria's northwest region. So Nigeria's woes continue. I mean, financial woes, and now even the children cannot learn in peace, because apparently the Boko Harams are out there kidnapping school kids, and the government of Nigeria looks powerless, looks like he cannot be able to do anything. And this has been happening for the longest. As I said, if you can remember well, in 2014, we had 200 school girls getting kidnapped, and nothing happened until the Boko Harams themselves are the one who released the girls. And it is sad, because when you look at the president of Nigeria, he is more concerned about the Sahel Alliance breaking out of ECOWAS than his own country having the security of his own people. He's more concerned about Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger leaving ECOWAS. He's more concerned about the coups going on than what is really happening in his country. That was why we saw him a few months ago threatening military intervention in Mali, and yet in his own country he cannot be able even to manage to provide safety to his own people. So that is the sad state of affairs in Nigeria. The people are out in the streets. Apparently, the people are out in the streets protesting because of the high standards of living that is in one part of Nigeria. The other part of Nigeria, the people are getting abducted.
A school in Nigeria's northwest region Thursday morning and abducted at least 287 students, the head teacher told authorities. The incident marked the second mass abduction in the West African nation in less than a week. Locals said the assailants surrounded government-owned school in Kaduna State in Kuruge town just as pupils were about to start the day. A teacher leading the school assembly was kidnapped. The teacher said he could not run away because some students depended on him for protection. A vigilante was also killed while he was trying to scare the gunmen away by shooting in the air, but he was killed. Abductions of students from schools in northern Nigeria are common and have become a source of concern since 2014 when Islamic extremists kidnapped over 200 schoolgirls in Borno State's Chibok village.
We have also sat down with the parents of those children that have been kidnapped. Even we have sent a strong message to the mothers, and we made it clear to them that one of the most important responsibilities of the government is this, to ensure that we protect the lives and properties of our citizens.
In recent years, the abductions have been concentrated in northwestern and central regions, where dozens and armed groups often target villagers and travelers for huge ransoms. Gunmen attacked a school in Nigeria's northwest region Thursday morning.
So that was another attack in Nigeria, another abduction, and as you saw, the leader there, the governor of the state, giving false promises to the parents, knowing very well that they are not in a position, to be able to provide, to deliver what he said, talking about that they are going to make sure they recover the students. And yet in 2014, the 200 girls were abducted for months and nothing really happened. And this was what I always talk about. I was talking about sponsored chaos in Africa, because you look at some of those gunmen, an example being those one in the Boko Haram, and you look at the kind of weaponry they have, the kind of machines they have, the kind of, and you are going to know that in a poor country like Nigeria, where they are out in the streets protesting for lack of food, how then do they have access to those modern guns? And you know, they don't even have food. They hardly have electricity in Nigeria, but the gunmen have good guns and they never run out of weapons, to a point that even the government forces are not able to contain them. And apparently Nigeria is part of ECOWAS, the puppet union, the economic states of West African countries, the ECOWAS. And ECOWAS has apparently not spoken about that, nor has AU spoken about the 300 students who are kidnapped. So they are apparently waiting for Niger or Burkina Faso to make a step so that they can release a statement. Bola Tinubu has not spoken about that. I haven't seen his statement. Maybe he has, but I haven't seen it. But I know he released a statement when the Sahel Alliance said they were leaving ECOWAS. So that is how misplaced of priorities we are. A case like this is supposed to cause anger all through Africa. You know, we're supposed to be seeing African leaders meeting to discuss how they are going to protect the people in Nigeria, the people in DRC, the people in Ethiopia, Tigray region who are getting killed every day. The leaders are supposed to have met, and if they are leaders at all, that is for lack of another term, they're supposed to have met and discuss such things. But no, they're gonna wait until you know what they wait for, the things, the misplaced priorities, it is the misplaced priorities that really finish Africa, because 287 kids were kidnapped yesterday. On the same day, more than 10 people were killed in Rwanda. On the same month, more than 45 people were killed in Ethiopia. On the same month, 10 people were killed in the same day, yesterday, 10 people were killed in Burkina Faso. On the same day, you know, I can't even finish the amount of the to mention the countries that are going through wars, including Ethiopia's Tigray region, which is facing famine and conflict at the same time. So if you don't die of hunger in Tigray, you're dying, you're getting shot. But nobody is talking about that. No African leader is talking about that. No Western media is talking about that. No African media is talking about that. And so it is very sad what is happening in Nigeria, what is happening in Rwanda, what is happening in Congo, what is happening in Burundi, what is happening in Tigray, what is happening in Cameroon, what is happening in Sudan. And let us now head to Mozambique, where another 70 children are missing in Mozambique after a new attack by ISIS-linked group. So that is another 70 children missing, but nobody sees anything. Nobody, the leaders in Africa, the politicians, let me call them by their name, the politicians in Africa just see this as okay. Wait until there is a climate change conference. They are all gonna be there. Wait until they are summoned to France. They are all gonna be there, and they are gonna be put in a school bus, and they are gonna like school kids. But when it comes to talking real issues that affect Africans, issues like what is happening in when we have 287 children getting abducted in Nigeria, and on the same day another 70 children missing in Mozambique, we are talking about the future of Africa. These are the children who are in school. They are the ones who are supposed to liberate African people, because apparently the older generation is full of puppets. So these are the ones who are supposed to trailblaze. That is why even if you look at the Sahel countries, you look at Burkina Faso, for example, you look at Traore, he's a young man, 35 or younger, because the older generation is mostly full of puppets. Most of them, they are very brainwashed by the white supremacy narrative, by the white savior imagery. They really don't see anything apart from their stomachs. So these are the children who are supposed to liberate Africa, but they're getting kidnapped. So in Mozambique, they are missing 70 kids. A surge of new attacks by Islamic State affiliated group in Mozambique's Cabo Delgado. So this happened in Cabo Delgado in Mozambique, has left more than 70 children missing, with fears that they may have drowned in a river or been kidnapped by militants as thousands of families fled. Local authority and aid agencies are the ones who are investigating this. So they don't even know whether the 70 kids drowned in a river or they were kidnapped by militants, but there was an attack by an Islamic State affiliate group. Around 30 groups now seeking shelter in Nampula province or to the south have asked police to help locate their children. According to the report released on Wednesday, more than 70 kids were reported missing. There have been attacks hitting the area, and there has been a jihadist insurgency, especially in Cabo Delgado, since 2017. But the attacks have increased in recent days, with this recent attack that saw a total of 72 kids having been reported missing, being the latest one. So over the weekend, Islamic State Mozambique fighters occupied the coastal town of Kuisanga, one of Cabo Delgado's district capital, which the Mozambican military had left unprotected. The next day, they beheaded 3 members of the security forces on a nearby island. So the Islamic State's Mozambique fighters beheaded 3 members of the security forces on live camera. So the army's ability to stop the killings is in question, because they had left the area unprotected. The ones and the leaders of the security forces were beheaded by the Islamic State affiliated group. Islamic State Mozambique political goals have not been stated, but it recently made an attempt to impose Islamic laws in areas under its influence. So nobody even knows what the fighting is about in Mozambique. The Islamic State Mozambique group is apparently wants to impose Islamic law in Mozambique, and that is why it is imposing it in areas where it has attacked. And another question comes up: Mozambique is a poor country, very poor, but still people they have access to weapons, they have access to warfare, they have access to gunfire, to modern guns, and that is why
Explain,
they are able to
explain,
kidnap.
explain, explain to me, Demore. Explain to me,
Mhm.
Demore. When did Mozambique start having Islamic fighters when it's not an Islamic country ever?
In
Where did these
2017,
Islamic
according to their
yeah,
report.
yeah, where did these Islamic fighters come from? From a
Mhm.
country that didn't have nobody that practiced Islam.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a it's another African mystery. Another African mystery.
And nobody
No,
knows even what they want. They don't have an objective. They haven't.
they know
The way the
they
Al Shabaab has stated
they
its objective, so they
they
don't
know
even
what
have a name.
they know what they want, Demore.
Hmm. Hmm.
Gas and oil got found there, Demore.
In Mozambique.
See,
Hmm.
yeah, in that area. They're not down in the south where there's no ass and oil. I mean, gas and oil found. It's right there where the
Hmm.
gas and oil is found. And now they got Islamic fighters. Now, explain to me how they got to these Islamicists who were never in
Hmm.
Mozambique ever.
Hmm.
How'd they go through Kenya, Tanzania, and then get to Mozambique with these advanced weapons and nobody knew, Demore? How'd that happen? How did this walk through Kenya and Tanzania? Because
Hmm.
because Mozambique's on the border of Tanzania. How they
Hmm.
walk that? How they go through Kenya, Tanzania, and arrive in Mozambique with all these advanced weapons and now chopping off people's heads and shit.
And those they kidnapped 70 children yesterday, and those are more than 300 kids getting kidnapped on the same day in Africa, because we had another 287 getting kidnapped in
In
Nigeria, and these are the
Nigeria, but
yeah.
but 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 hold on. Wasn't
Mhm.
Nigeria supposed to be able to go to war with other countries? They wanted to go to war against Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger for the white
Yeah,
man, but they can't protect 300 children in their own schools from being kidnapped.
this is the third incident. This is the third kidnapping incident in Nigeria this week.
This
But
refers to
apparently, Bola
this refer,
Tinubu is waiting for Traore to speak so that he can threaten to send ECOWAS armed forces in there. But I don't know where the ECOWAS armed forces are
there's
in
no
Nigeria.
ECOWAS armed forces. They're all
It's,
there's no real military. No, there's nothing to be scared of. No ECOWAS. Nobody's scared of no fucking Nigeria and Ghana and all these these fake military. I'm gonna get invaded by Nigeria. Whoa, no, please don't, please don't. Instead of invading us, how about you gonna invade the people that's killing these kids out of the school? Do that first. She ain't talking about you're going to war. You're going to war with somebody. Yeah, all right, okay.
and if you want to know the kind of puppet leaders we have, Keith, you just have to look at the things that are happening and the things that they give priorities to. For example, we had more than 15 people getting killed in DRC yesterday. People are getting killed in Tigris. People are getting killed in Sudan. People are getting killed in Burundi. People are getting killed in Burkina Faso. People are getting, I can't even finish mentioning the places that people are getting killed. But the African politicians, let me not call them leaders, cannot meet to talk about that. Wait until there's a climate change conference. That is when
Yeah,
they all will turn up.
yeah,
But when
exactly.
it comes to things like this,
That's what the white man told him. Because, like you said, Demore,
mhm,
with the gentleman, the authors you were talking about, everything is political. As Joby
mhm,
said, in Africa, you're raised not to even know about politics. You're raised to know. You're raised to know that politics don't concern you. Politics
mhm,
concerns everything in your life is politics. Everything in your life is politics. Politics is why you got people kidnapping some damn body. Politics is why you got somebody not being hungry. Politics is why you got terrorists running around blowing up shit. It's all
mhm.
politics. Life is politics. But you're told as a child in Africa, that don't concern you. That's none of your business. Like what? What are you talking about? Everything in life is politics.
Mm-hmm.
Because politics is only war, Demore, supposedly in a civilized manner. It's war. It's civilized war. It's to stop you from going to war when things don't work right. Hold
That
on.
was what that was what Chinua Achebe said when he meant when he said every problem that Africa faces is a political problem. You look at the wars, you look at the hunger, you look at, just like Keith is saying, you look at everything, every problem that Africa faces, it has a political edge to it. Every news that I've reported today is, for example, the abductions in Nigeria, the delayed elections in Senegal, the abductions in Mozambique. Everything
It's
has
the
a
same.
political edge to it.
Exactly, Demore. It's the same. It's the same shit. And it was always bad leadership. The people get no respect. They get nothing done for justice. They get treated poorly. These leaders are all rich, but you can't show me shit that they did. You can't show me nothing they made, nothing they've invented, no businesses they created, but they're all
Mhm,
millionaires, Demore. How are you a
mhm.
millionaire politics when the job only pays a certain amount of money? So you know it's all theft and grab. So you're like, what? How's everybody a millionaire? And that's why they want to stay as everybody wants to stay as leaders, Demore, for
Mhm.
50, 60, 70 years. Because
An example.
imagine, what the hell? Go ahead, Demore.
An example is the Kenyan president. Let me look at his net worth and his salary. So his salary is 10,500. That is his salary, 10,500 US dollars a month. That is his salary. So what is his net worth? Let us
Okay,
look at his net
that's
worth.
about that's about 120. That's about like 120,000. What's that? Like
No,
120,000 a year? How much is 10? How much is
uh,
10,000?
yeah, a month.
10,000 a
In a
month. How much
month,
is that?
in a month. So apparently, the
That's
Kenyan
10,000 a
president is
month,
paid
right? I'm saying.
10,000 a month.
I'm,
That is at 120,000
oh
a
shit,
year.
it's 15,000. Okay, so he makes.
But
So look, he's
apparently,
making 420,000. The Kenyan president gets paid more. Oh wait. Let me say
he
something
gets
first.
paid about
The Kenyan president.
1.5
I told
million.
you this is crazy.
Mhm.
No. I'm a year. How much is a year? 400. That's like 400 some thousand a year, right?
Yeah.
$15,000 a month. Okay. Now you look at this.
Do you know
Now
what
these
his net worth
African
is?
leaders get paid more than. Oh, I'm wait, Demore, let me finish. Jesus Christ. Now imagine, now imagine, imagine
Uh-huh.
these presidents of Africa, they make more than the president of the United States. I want the more look up. I know the president of the United States makes $1,000. That's a motherfucking Africa.
Mhm. You breaking, Keith.
What's his net worth? Okay.
Yeah. So I was saying he apparently earns
What
about
what's his net worth?
10,000 a month. 10,000 a month, 10,000 US dollars, because it's 10,500 US dollars a month. That will add up to, on the highest, maybe 150,000 a year. But his net worth is 400 million US dollars. That is his estimated, the one that he has said he owns is 400 million US dollars. That is the one that he has admitted to owning. So imagine the money that he has
What's
not admitted to, and how much,
his
earning a
net
salary
worth?
of 10,000 a
Net
month.
worth?
How many months do you need for you to be able to accumulate 400 million?
It's stolen.
Just
So his net worth is just so he's been stealing in tandem. His net worth is just as high as the whole family. God damn.
mhm.
Imagine the amount of stealing they've been doing to Murray. Oh my God. $400 million. $400 million to Murray. He ain't made no businesses. He ain't invented no Apple phone. $400
So
million
apparently, according to
to
his
Murray.
salary and and according to his salary and the net worth he has, he must save for 40,000 months in order for him to be able to make that money. So apparently he has been working for the last 40,000 months. Shout out to him. That is the amount of the number of months he has been working for in order for him to be able to earn that salary. Or he needs about 3,333 years working and saving in order for him to save up to 400 million. So he has been
That's
working for the
that's
last
right. That's right, Demar. Three,
3,333 years.
three. That's right. That's right, Demar. See, you're able to know, so you know it's corruption on a level that's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely insane, Demore. And that's all. And he's not. It's all these niggas in Africa. It's all
Yeah,
of them. Because that's what they do.
I actually
They
hope,
got to get a
I
puppet
actually
money.
wish
They
it
got
was
to
a
get a
Kenyan
puppet.
problem. Mhm.
You thought that was a Kenyan problem for real?
I wish, I'm saying I wish it was a Kenyan problem. I actually wish
Oh
it
yeah,
was an Indian problem, but it is
yeah,
not. It is an African problem, though. I know that
yes.
is
It's
the
an
same with
African problem.
Museveni. That is the same with
Yes,
Kagame. That
Kagame.
is the same with, yeah. And so
Now
that is.
explain this. Now explain
Mhm.
this. Explain this to more. We know Rwanda is 11 times poorer than Kenya, but
Mhm.
Kagame's net worth is 100 million more than Ruto's. Kagame's net
Mhm.
worth is 500 million. Make it make sense, more, please. His net worth is $500 million. You can look it up. Paul Kagame's net worth is $500 million.
Mhm. And you look at
Appreciate
some
you.
of these, things, and you answer yourself quickly on why Africa is poor, because apart from the system being against us and all the other, the infrastructure and everything being against us, the little that we are left with ends up in the pockets of the puppets we have as leaders, and nobody really questions anything. And let us finish the news update with
No,
Gambia, where
no,
apparently. Mhm.
no one knows what you know, Demore. That's not that they don't really know what you know. So that's you understand Africans don't know what you know. So you got even you got to be a little more. We got to understand it. They just don't know what you know either. So, but you got to understand that they don't know what you know. Sadly, they don't know what you know. They
And
know
so
it's corruption, but not on that level. Go ahead, you got it.
let us finish with Gambia, where
Uh,
today being International Women's Day, this Gambian lawmaker tabled a bill in parliament that wants to end the FGM ban. So a Gambian lawmaker has tabled a bill seeking to end the Women's Amendment Act 2015, which banned circumcision and other FGM. So this Gambian lawmaker wants FGM reinstated. The bill was tabled at the National Assembly for a first reading on Monday, March 4th. So, under the current law in Gambia, a person convicted of performing FGM faces up to 3 years in prison, a fine of 50,000 dalasi, or both. So, this bill by Almel Giba is among the most stupid bills I've ever had in Africa. So, he wants FGM reinstated. So he sat down, looked at all the problems in Gambia, and decided the biggest problem in Gambia right now is because we don't have FGM. So why don't we reinstate FGM to Gambia, and our country is going to do better? We are broke and all that because we banned FGM. So shout out to him. His name is Almame Magiba. These are the leaders we have in Africa. And according to Gambia's National Assembly Deputy
hold
Speaker,
on, the more you
Sidi.
got. What? Hold on, the more. Hold on, the more. What the hell is that, Jim? Is that that fetal? Is that female mutilation shit?
Yeah, so he wants it reinstated. So he sat down and decided the problem with Gambia, all the problems in Gambia right now are because we banned FGM. So why don't we have FGM back? FGM is female genital mutilation.
What? Come
Yeah,
on, come on, come
yeah, that
on,
is a bill that is.
come on, Demore. You're lying to me. You're making that more. Stop it. Stop it.
Nah,
Friday. We got no need for these kind of jokes on a Friday the morning. Come on.
nah, is the
Come
name of
on.
this great gentleman who apparently decided that FGM is the most important thing in Gambia is Almame Giba. And the bill was presented to Parliament and it is going to be read in the next few weeks. It is going to be debated. So he said, according to him, he said FGM, female genital mutilation, is not only cultural but a religious right as well.
You, listen, man. You wonder why we the laughing stocks on the planet. This moron's a
Mhm.
member of parliament. Like, like what? So you got a man. This is moron. You got a man talking about chopping up a woman's private body parts and saying this is right. Africa's fucked up. I mean, because we're not chopping it off. It's messed
Even
up because
Joby,
we're not.
even Joby, Joby in the studio cannot believe it. She thinks I'm lying.
Yeah, me. That's what I said. Me too. And you wonder why I told you niggas not to go to Gambia? You talking
Yeah, I
about
remember you
culture?
saying that.
You talking about culture shock on a level because you're not gonna be
Mhm.
ready for this kind of lunacy, this kind of ignorance in a people. You talking about people so backward, so
Mhm.
morally fucked up that I'm like, what? I don't even. The more he's reading it to me, I know he's telling the truth, and I can't believe what he's telling me.
You know, with Gambia is a country that is people don't have jobs. There is
I
no
know,
electricity. There is no net.
I
There is
know.
not even network
I know.
coverage in Gambia.
We got is that exactly, Jamal. We don't have no network coverage, no jobs. But my number one issue is cutting off a woman's coochie part.
Yeah, that is important. We need that to be able to develop as a country. That is the reasoning. That is the reasoning of one and only Alma Mel Giba. Shout out to him.
Please, the more make it make sense, the more. Please help me understand the craziness, the more. Please, please, brother. make it make sense.
And it is the fact that
Please help me,
this bill is
Demore.
going to be
Oh
debated
my.
in Parliament. And he said it is a cultural and a religious right that women have to go through. And he did this on the International Women's Day. Today is International Women's Day. So I don't know what to say to the people of Gambia, but I blame you for electing such people.
What you're supposed to say, Demore? He's batshit crazy. That's what you're supposed to say. That's what you're supposed to say, Demore. You're not supposed to be the kind African and say, I don't know what to say. You're supposed to say, yeah, he's batshit crazy. What you supposed to say? And you thought, I told you, morons, not to go to
Mhm.
no Gambia. If I said, we're going to go to Gambia, I was like, hey, let Mumpy Danford ass stay over in Gambia. You don't go over there. It's backward. It's moronic. Like the Morris says, no lights, no clean water, no jobs. And then now they want to cut off a woman's coochie? But that's the number one issue. The Morris just lists all the real problems. But that, in this moron's mind, I'm worried about the woman's coochie. Hey, we don't got no lights, man. We don't got no jobs. We got no lights. Things don't work right. Yeah, but I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about cutting out my woman's coochie. What? And you wonder why these Negroes are laughed out of the UN. People walk out on these niggas when they get to talking in the UN and say, oh, it's lunchtime. This niggas want to talk about cut off a woman's coochie and shit. Get out of here.
And don't you think that this leader is, and you might think he's the black sheep of the Gambian parliament. So apparently, last year, that was in last year, 3 women were convicted of FGM, and most of the influential people in Gambia supported them.
See, they supported it, right? They supported
Yeah,
what the
yeah,
FGM.
they,
They
yeah, they supported the women who are convicted of FGM. So he's not
see
even the
this,
black sheep.
no, you
He's
talking about no,
Gambian
I'm not
dream.
going. You're not a you're talking about a backward society, Demore. You're talking about a country run by morons. And this
Mhm.
kid, You just keep it 100. You talking about a country that can't develop. They can't make. How am I going to make an electric grid? And I'm focusing on cutting off a woman's private parts.
So
That's the
I
most.
have a question. I have a
Go ahead.
question for this man. His name is Almama Giba. I hope you see this video. Almama Giba, how is
His
cutting
name is
a woman's
his
clitoris
name
going to?
is right. His name is Obama Moron. That's his name.
So Almama, I'll actually call you by your real name, Almama Giba. How is cutting a woman's clitoris going to solve the network problem in Gambia, the food problem in Gambia, the unemployment
Right?
problem in Gambia?
And you wonder why the Chinese you see right now in the Gambia smacking these niggas in their head. They would see. I told you, whenever you got a weak man, they internalize it and go after the women. Gambia is one of the worst places that you see where the Chinese are completely almost taking over like Zambia. You see videos that get smacked in their head by the Chinese, told what to do, licking boots, Chinese men talking them crazy. You know, that's a complete dominated man. So now he's got to turn to his woman to feel like he's got some power. I need to dominate my woman because I'm not a real man. That's when you always see crazy shit like this. Because he can't feel powerful amongst other men. So they always internalize it and go after the women. Because he's weak. Gambian men are weak. They're talking about, hey, but you should, any civilized society, he's supposed to get laughed out the room. That's this moron talking about.
And for
Go
me,
ahead,
Gambia has today beaten Nigeria in terms of uncivilization. Gambia is on top of Nigeria on this. I
Yeah,
think Nigeria comes second.
at least in Nigeria, you can go some nice spots. The Gambia is all fucked up all the way through. At least in Nigeria and Kenya, you find some nice spots to chill in, Demore. You can't even find no nice spots, and they want to cut out people's vaginas.
And I have my cousin in Gambia. I'm even worried for her.
Oh shit! Oh, that's you got a cousin in Des Moines. How'd she get the game? I see. Joby don't ever ask. I gotta know. How'd your cousin get the Gambia, Demore?
She's a business woman, so she
She
imports things.
went there for business.
Yeah.
Man, she's a bad businesswoman, Demore. Okay, Demore? I give you more credit, Demore. How did you end up in Kampala? What made you go to Kampala from Kenya?
I was there on business too. I was a businessman there for some
I know
time.
you were selling shoes, right?
Yeah, I was selling shoes in Kampala.
But what made you go to Kampala, Demore? Why not Kenya? Why not anywhere Kenya? Why Kampala? That's what I want to know.
Because apparently it was more profitable in Kampala because their taxation is a bit low and
your Kenyan shillings go further, right?
yeah, and then you would buy a shoe in Kenya for 500 shillings and you'd sell it in Kampala for 800 bob. They had never seen shoes like those.
Yeah, okay, so you had a distribution that you was getting the good shoes from Kenya and then getting them into Kampala and selling them. But they're poor. How did you survive? They don't got no money for that. How'd you sell them, Demore?
They used to buy.
Okay.
They used to buy them. Yeah, and the taxation there is not as bad as in Kenya. And
But what happened if they used to buy them?
Even the apartments are very cheap. You know, a house in Kampala is cheaper compared to that in Nairobi. The cost of living is a bit lower.
Of course, I said it. Because that's what I was telling Joby. I said, did you guys ever ask Demore why he was in Kampala? Africans don't never ask questions. I ask questions. I want to know. God damn it.
I might have been the richest man in that apartment, by the way, with my 300 Kenya shillings.
Exactly.
I was a tycoon there. At 18 years.
Exactly. But the more I'm talking about the courage and the amount entrepreneur fortitude that you decided to go to another country. You know, it's Africa, but you might not have been affiliated with Uganda. You know, you can speak Swahili and their languages. They speak Swahili and some other language. It was still brave of you, Demore. I
Mhm.
commend this of you to go to another country and decide to set up shop. It means there's a resilience in you that most Africans, sadly enough, do not have. And shout out to your goddamn cousin. She going to the Gambia, motherfucker. I'm not even going to the Gambia except no business. I got. They might make it long term, but they got to cut off half my ball sack. Like nah. so, so, so shout out to you. Have you talked to her? How's she doing? How's she doing in the Gambia, Demar? Have you talked to her?
Yeah, I talk to her. I talk to her often. She's apparently
Good,
not doing so bad.
good. Okay? How's she say the people are? How they treating her? How's the reception there? You need to bring on the show Demar and do an interview. I want to know, damn it.
I'm gonna put her up on one of my Saturday shows. I'm sure she won't mind it.
Yeah, put them on the show. Let's find out how she. What kind of business is she doing in Gambia? What is she
She
doing?
she sells traditional African wear from Kenya to Gambia.
Oh,
The
awesome.
Masai
Oh, okay, because that's a
Masai.
niche. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
smart because that'd be a niche because they wouldn't have that there. That's smart. It'd be almost like a fetish almost there, like a something different. But Demore, how did she pick the Gambia of all places?
I've never known how she picked Gambia, and I actually
Was
thought
it
she was going. I thought she was
was it a
going to
Gambian
Senegal.
man? Was it a
No,
Gambian
no,
man?
no.
No,
I
okay.
actually thought she was going to Senegal because she landed in Senegal first. I don't think there is a direct flight from Nairobi
No,
to
there's not.
Gambia. Yeah.
There's not because remember, if you look at the map,
Hmm.
the Gambia used to be part of the Senegal. The Gambia sits right in the middle of the Senegal. You know that, right, Demore?
Yeah.
Look at the map.
Yeah.
It sits right in the middle. So yes, I'm sure she flew. She flew into to the car and then had to
Yeah.
catch a bus or some kind of transportation down into
Hmm.
the Gambia. In that part it's called Senegambia. So
Yeah. Senegambia. It is called Senegambia.
yeah, so damn, I'm touching your cousin. That is awesome. That's and she's a woman. She's a
Yeah.
woman. She wasn't going to meet no man or nothing, right? She just decided to go to Gambia. But no
Yeah.
man there, nothing.
Yeah.
But no man, right? Is she
Nah,
married?
no, she's not
No.
married.
So she went by herself. I want to say, tweet. I want to beg them. I said, please go to Senegal. Don't go to the Gambia. Please go to Senegal. Please. Please.
Uh, she
I
was the one who
was,
was telling me that the currency in Gambia, the Gambian currency is very strong as compared to even the Kenyan currency. It is very strong.
yeah, but it's fraudulent. It's because it's backed by the British. It's so smart. It's all baloney. But God damn, we got that. I got so many questions I want to ask your cousin. God damn it.
I'll put, I'll put her up on the Saturday show. And
Yeah.
Joby is coming up in a bit with
Yeah. Africa Today Show. We are Africa Today Show. Yeah. So the more went all the way to Kampala. This is an entrepreneurial young man. This what
Mhm.
this what we this what we this what we need in Africa, family. That people not afraid to take risks. He know what to expect when he got to Kampala. He set up shop and was making a profit. It might have been the COVID thing that hurt him. Might have been
It
that
was the
COVID
COVID
shit.
thing. It was the COVID. It was during the COVID period.
Yeah, because everything was locked down. But 70 more out of gas. See, he should have took his ass to Tanzania where everything was still open. Just
So
took his ass.
apparently, the reason I closed down was because Museveni closed down the markets, and so there
He
was
closed, he
nowhere.
closed it. He closed
Nowhere.
everything down. Closed everything down because he's a moron. You should have took your ass to Tanzania, Demore. Took your ass to Tanzania where the market stayed open, and you might have been a success. But you didn't know what was going to happen. But I
Yeah.
still commend you for the entrepreneur. Maybe Demore, do you think since they were selling
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe we should open a shop there and put and so were you making a decent profit or were you struggling? You know what?
No, no, I was making good money, kid.
Okay, then maybe we should talk to me later tomorrow. Maybe I'll send
Okay,
you back over there and we open up a shop and just have somebody run it for us out of there and I'll split the profits with you. You know,
okay, I'll talk to you. And
yeah, yeah, talk to me about that tomorrow because I love that you was an entrepreneur at such a young age and you were ready to, out there and understand what hard work it takes. And now since you know the terrain there, also we got
mhm,
Maria and Seto there. Maybe we can create a
mhm.
small shop and get some income that way. So, but I'll send you out to Demore as the point man to get everything started since you already know, and we'll but I do like I do Wallace. I make you a boss, not an employee. So you also have some benefit to it.
Okay, okay, kid. I'll talk to you later. And a big shout out to Kay Williams, who's joined us late, and he's saying I'm up on the same time as Maria, and I'm about to go because Keith is coming up with Joby on the African Today show in a bit. And today, that was all that has been happening this week with 287 children getting abducted in Nigeria, with Senegal set to hold its delayed presidential election on March 24th.
Don't tell
With
don't tell me the Kenyan woman ain't bad than a motherfucker. She went to Gambia of all places. Anyway, she could have won the continent. She went to Gambia. This is amazing to me. This is amazing to me. Not
uh,
she didn't decide to go to a modern country like Accra, Nigeria, South Africa, Gambia. Motherfucker, Gambia is the people say, hey man, you going to Gambia? Nigga, I ain't going no Gambia. You got me all the way fucked up. Gambia. What?
and 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 it is I'll put her on my show, kid. It is also the night where a Gambian lawmaker tabled a bill to ban FGM ban, so he wants the FGM
Man,
reinstated.
tell your cousin to watch himself, man. I don't want to come back to visit Kenya with a coochie gone. Shit, goddamn.
It is, and lastly, it is the night where Haiti extended the nighttime curfew and the state of emergency.
like no, I don't want to come back to Kenya all messed up like that. Wow, can you
Uh,
imagine? I'm so proud of you and your cousin. This is amazing to me, man. This is really amazing. This is shout out to the African youth. This is amazing. Gambia? Nigga, I'm not even going to Gambia.
and and Kay Williams is telling me to be putting up a post on WhatsApp because the notification do not come out. I thank you, Kay Williams. I'll make sure I remember to put a post tomorrow on my show and also on Monday. And thank you for always joining me. And a
Yeah,
big
put a
shout
post
out
on
to everybody
WhatsApp.
who was with me. Yeah.
What tell them to put on the African, say put on the Keith Newsom channel, put them to put on the other Black Eye Fire Network live channel, and sometimes that gives out sometimes that puts out some kind of thing. A lot of times it doesn't either. But anyway, it's been a fun show with Demore. Let's see
Mhm.
what me and Joby gonna talk about. Um, yeah, because I said, why you guys never asked Demore? It's about entrepreneurship. This young man went to Kampala. I want to know what he did, what he learned. If it was a success, we can repeat it. We can go over there and do it again, build that shit, and and make money from it. Shit.
Yeah.
Ask ask him what he did. Did it work? What things did you learn that didn't work? He said to tell you I was in Kampala. Nobody, I don't say nothing to him. To me, that's impressive. I'm like, what? You was in Kampala? Man, okay, let me say, how'd you get over there? What'd you do? How'd it work? I want to know.
Mhm.
Shit. So shout out to Kampala, shout out to Demore, the richest man in the building in Kampala with his 300 Kenyan shillings. Damn you Ugandan niggas. You see this? This is Kenyan money. Kenyan shillings, niggas. This is
So,
the way this is how I get down.
so kid, Job is about
All
to
right,
take me
all
out of
right.
the studio.
All right, Joby. Joey went off on Friday. Stop, calm down. All right. Much love, Demora.
Enjoy the rest of your day, Keith and Kay Williams, and the rest of the family. See you tomorrow on the
You too.
Diary of a Young Black King.
I'll join you tomorrow. Tomorrow. Hey, give me a call.
Okay,
Call me. Yes,
I'll
sir.
tell you.
Yes, so I get my ass up.
You always wait for my show
I
for my
try.
show, and then you go to sleep.
I try. I wake up. I God damn. I wake up. That shit for you. When you're almost over. I pop in when it's almost. You say, keep them about the end. I say, fuck all that. Let's talk tomorrow. Forget all that.
Enjoy the rest of your day, Keith.
All right. Much love, family. So coming right back with being Joby. Peace.